His family still supports Donald Trump despite their mom being detained. Any regrets with your vote?
None. Still supporting him.
We got some crazy stories that are coming out of our nation right now with ICE actually doing their job. It's not politically correct, that's for sure. But you know, there's a saying: a nation of laws, not a nation of men. And that right there is what separates a strong, secure republic from a crumbling, emotional free-for-all. It's hard and it's not always pretty. There's a story that just came out of California. This is a wild one, folks. This is a wild story. Trump-supporting Iranian woman in California was taken by ICE agents. Husband says he still supports Trump's not taking his flags down. What? These people know what's up. Last week, she had to say goodbye to her children when ICE arrived at her front door. Her husband, Arthu Sahakian, claims that the detainment stems from an incident that took place 15 years ago regarding a theft conviction. Wow. She'd stolen something worth less than $200, according to the husband. Arthu believes the detainment is related to fears of Iranian sleeper cells. He says, I miss my wife dearly, but I think we could have a faster process. She's not a radical or tied to the crazies out there, still supporting Trump, even though my friends say, take the flag down. You're going through a lot. I'm like, nope, the flag stands. Let's see what Arthu has to say here. Play this clip.
Trump flags staying up tonight.
Yeah, those flags staying up. His family still supports Donald Trump despite their mom being detained. The final moments home for an Iranian woman detained by immigration agents.
Thank you.
A mother Monday going inside to say bye to her 4 kids.
She came and kissed the kids, and that was it. That's the last time I saw her.
A proud President Trump supporting family in Diamond Bar.
Election time was here. I had a full 3-4 flags out.
Even while their mom faces immigration questions. Has your opinion changed on this?
That's a good question. Somewhat it has, just because I'm going through it. I was very selfish before. But what I see right now is, okay, there's a reason for it.
Arthur Sahakian's wife, Arpaneh, was born in Iran and moved to the United States when she was 3 as a refugee.
She cashed a check, I believe. It was less than $200, and this is all where it started.
Then, about 15 years ago, her green card was revoked over a conviction related to theft.
It's all misdemeanor stuff.
Arthur says they've been going through the legal process towards regaining citizenship with check-ins every 6 months or so.
She just went in April, and they said, okay, you're fine. You know, have a good day. We'll see you back in September or October.
Then last week, the United States bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran, increasing tensions and concerns of Iranian sleeper cells retaliating in the U.S.
I'm very for of them seeing the Iranian nationals because of the sleeper cells. I understand that.
Federal sources tell Fox News that more than 130 Iranian nationals were detained in the U.S. this last week.
I think it will resolve a lot of issues because we will know exactly who's in here for what reasons. Even though I miss her dearly, but I think we could do a better job of, you catch someone, you see they're a national, and do a background real quick and see if they have ties to the community and ties with families over here, and let them go.
What do you think is going to happen?
I'm on the list to be going to a different facility.
Arpaneh speaking with us on the phone, uncertain about her future. Any regrets with your vote?
None. Still supporting him.
While her family continues showing support for President Trump, hoping their mom comes home soon.
Trump is not trying to do anything bad. We understand what he's doing, and he wants the best for the country.
Wow. I mean, Arpaneh, she got taken into custody by ICE. And yeah, she's been here a long time. Like, this is a tough one. Let's try to break this thing down a little bit. She's married to this guy. She's married to Arthu. She's got children. This is a gut wrencher right here. Like, this is one that pulls on your heartstrings. But let's be honest, she had a criminal conviction. Actions do have the consequences. And yes, things did heat up between Iran and Israel. And we dropped bombs on them, and it's like we need to take a look at people who are here, who are on the books, and they detained her. And I'll be honest with you, you're not going to like this tape. We'll see how this thing plays out. I think it's going to play out positively in the long run. Nobody wants to go through this, but this is what law and order looks like, folks. I know you're going to say, where's compassion? You can't have justice. You can't have compassion if you don't have justice. And again, it's not about who you feel bad for. It's about upholding the same standard for everybody. So she came here as a child, she comes here as a refugee. That's not in question. Somewhere along the line, she commits a crime. She cashes a bad check 15 years ago. And you say, well, that's so small. But the law is not grading sin on a sliding scale here of sympathy. You did it, you broke it, you own it. So we don't get to cherry pick which laws we want to enforce and which ones we ignore. Now, I mean, it tugs on my heartstrings here. I feel bad for this family because if you got a family and, you say, well, it was a long time ago, then you say, that's not justice. No, be careful. Don't fall into emotionalism. And if you go down that road, you don't have a legal system. You got a popularity contest. You got a sentimentality contest here. And here's what's even more impressive with this whole deal. Arthur, he's still going to support the very administration that's enforcing those laws. Why? Because he understands something a lot of Americans have forgotten, that principle matters more than personal convenience. He said, I'm still supporting Trump. I'm not taking my flags down. So to me, I think that's courage. It's conviction. He knows what he believes in. He's a man that knows that America is bigger than one man's, or one family's pain. He's not blaming the government for doing what the government is supposed to do. He's standing for what's right, even when it hurts. And folks, that's rare. And I truly believe this is going to come out okay. And everybody wants to blame Trump and, it would come down on him. Oh, he's just a tyrant. He's a dictator. This is fascism. It's actually the kind of backbone that this country was built on, folks. Let's just be honest. I know we tend to forget the hardcore history. But this isn't about revenge or cruelty or trying to ruin lives. It's about protecting the integrity of our immigration system and the safety of this country, especially when we just bombed the shit out of Iran. So we live in a dangerous world. Iranian sleeper cells, they're real, folks. Global terror threats are still active. National security officials have to take potential threats seriously, even if it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. They don't get the luxury of just gut feelings or internet outrage. They follow protocol. And I'm going to tell you what, I'd rather our government overcorrect and ensure the wrong people aren't slipping through than underreact and live to regret it. This is what it means to have a sovereign nation, a nation that enforces its borders, checks its records, makes hard decisions to preserve the greater good, no matter how painful or emotional it may be. Look, nobody's saying this isn't sad. Of course it is. We're talking about a mother, a wife, a family that's torn by law enforcement. But you know what else is sad? A nation that turns a blind eye to law breaking because it's uncomfortable. A country that ignores its own laws until they become meaningless. You look at this, you want to talk about being torn from your family. Look at this clip. We talked about it in a short this week of Tom Hman. Look at what Tom Hman said right here when asked about doing his job. Listen closely.
And you sort of haunted, you said, is that partly because you think that your own children you couldn't give that same childhood to?
Shamefully, yeah. I'm busy. And I spent a lot of time with my boys growing up, but as I got more and more climbed the ladder of what I've done with ice director and now back, I don't see my family very much. My wife's living separately from me right now, mainly because I work so many hours, but mostly because of the death threats against me. She's someplace else. Yeah, I see her as much as I can, but the death threats against me and my family are outrageous. So, but my boys both growing up.
Let's stop it right there.
One followed my footsteps.
See, the party of tolerance and acceptance. They're not so tolerant or accepting anymore. He's talking about he's torn from his family, not because of dealing with a crime from the past or being able to follow up somebody or check their background. Literal death threats coming against him and his family. And the reason that happens is because we've used toxic empathy and so-called sympathy so long and too long with the sanctuary cities and the open border chaos and the selective prosecution that it's bred lawlessness, and we've misplaced what the moral compass really ought to be. So what we got to do is we got to take the time to get back to equal enforcement where you can't hide behind sentimentality or status. And that's why this story matters, not because we enjoy watching families separated, but because when we stop enforcing the rules, we stop being a nation at all. And by the way, if I get arrested, I will be separated from my family. So let me say this loud and clear. ICE, they did their job. Law enforcement did their job. The system, imperfect as it may be, did what it was designed to do. And you know what? Arthur, the father, the husband, his response, actually, it should be a rallying cry to every American. Hold the line. Don't retreat. Just because the storm gets personal, stand on the rock of principle, not on the shifting sands of emotion. Because if we want to fix the system, fine. You got to reform it, make it more efficient, more just, more compassionate. But don't you dare tear it down because someone got caught in the net. This is what law and order looks like, whether you like it or not. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it's unfortunate, but it's also what makes America strong. So God bless the families who sacrifice. God bless the officers who stand firm. God bless this family. God bless Tom Hman and his family. And God bless a nation that still has the guts to do what's right. I love you. God bless you. Keep on praying. Talk to you next time. Bye.